Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. To corner Pakistan globally, India to send 7 all-party delegations across the world. Army Chief Munir woke me up at 2:30 a.m. on the 10th of May, says Pakistan's Prime Minister, admits India's missile hit Noor Khan Airbase and other key locations. Moody's downgrades US credit rating from top level for the first time amid fears over soaring debt. White House dismisses Moody's downgrade on US credit rating. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates Neeraj Chopra for breaching 90-meter mark at Doha Diamond League 2025. A very good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif admitted that India's ballistic missiles hit Noor Khan Airbase and other sites on the 10th of May. While addressing a ceremony held at the Pakistan Monument on Friday, Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif said Army Chief General Asim Munir called him at around 2:30 a.m. local time to report the strikes. Sharif further mentioned the use of local technology and Chinese jets by Pakistan's Air Force, but confirmed that India's missiles hit their targets.
9 और 10 की दरमियानी रात में तकरीबन 2:30 बजे सिपह सलार जनरल सईद आसिम मुनीर ने मुझे सिक्योर फोन पे मुझे बताया कि वज़ीर-ए-आज़म साहब, हिंदुस्तान ने अपने बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल अभी लॉन्च किए हैं, एक नूर खान एयरपोर्ट पे गिरा है और कुछ और दूसरे इलाकों में गिरे हैं.
While India launched Operation Sindhur on the 7th of May as a decisive military response to the 22nd of April Pahalgam terror attack, Air Marshal A.K. Bharti presented the composite picture on the 12th of May of the targets engaged by the Indian Air Force during Operation Sindhur. After this, on the 10th of May, an understanding of the cessation of hostilities between India and Pakistan was announced.
We have targeted the length and breadth of the adversary. I'm sure most of you would have already seen the effect of these strikes on ground, courtesy the large number of videos and photographs being circulated in the media. A few representative examples from the open source are now being shown to you on the screen. In fact, 2 of them. This is the strike on the Noor Khan Airbase. And you can see the effect. I'm sure most of you have seen the video. I have also picked it up from your sources only. This is the aftermath of our strike at Raimiar Khan Air Base. You can see the massive crater that it has left on its runway.
And in the context of Operation Sindhur and in India's continued fight against cross-border terrorism, 7 all-party delegations are set to visit key partner countries, including members of the UNSC, which is United Nations Security Council, later this month. Now, members of the parliament from different parties, prominent political personalities and distinguished diplomats will be part of each delegation. Shashi Tharoor, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Sanjay Kumar Jha, Vijayant Panda, Kanimozi Karunanidhi, Supriya Sule, Shrikant Eknath Shinde, each will lead 7 delegations. The all-party delegation will project India's national consensus and resolute approach to combating terrorism in all forms and manifestations. They would carry forth to the world the country's strong message of zero tolerance against terrorism. The delegation would also aim at exposing Pakistan's continued support for terrorism on the global stage. Now, BJP's member of the parliament, Ravi Shankar Prasad, vowed on Saturday to convey India's concerns effectively in front of the international community after being named as the member of the delegation visiting key partner countries to project India's continued fight against cross-border terrorism.
बहुत अनुग्रहित हूँ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का, जो सांसदों का डेलीगेशन जा रहा है उसमें एक डेलीगेशन को लीड करने के लिए उन्होंने मुझे चुना है। जहाँ तक सुबह मुझे जानकारी मिली है कि मेरी अगुवाई में जो डेलीगेशन जाएगा वो सऊदी अरेबिया, बहराइन, कुवैत और अल्जीरिया जाएगा। तो जा कर के मैं ब्रीफिंग हम लोग लेंगे और फिर भारत का प्रभावी पक्ष और अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच और भारत की एकता इस पूरे मामले में।
Now, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor on Saturday reacted to the government's invitation to lead an all-party delegation to key partner countries. Taking to microblogging site X, Tharoor asserted that when the nation's interest is involved and his involvement is needed, he would readily step up to serve. He further said that he is honoured by the invitation of the Government of India to lead an all-party delegation to 5 key capitals. NCP leader Supriya Sule also expressed her gratitude towards the Prime Minister. She said that the mission is to convey India's united and unwavering message of zero tolerance against terrorism. Lauding Prime Minister's move, JDU leader Sanjay Jha said that it is a significant step towards Prime Minister's relentless focus on eliminating terror. He assured that India's political parties stand united and firm in ensuring the nation's pride and glory. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Dibyendu Monde from New Delhi. Good afternoon, Dibyendu. Tell us more about this important initiative, its significance, and how are we executing this plan, Dibyendu?
Well, Deepika, this was announced by the government, formally announced, in fact, by the government today morning. Before that, we were getting information source-based that the government is planning to send a delegation to different countries to expose the lies that Pakistan has been trying to spread over the last 1 week, and of course also to expose the nefarious terrorist activities of Pakistan. So therefore, this team has been constituted by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Kiran Rijiju, who is the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs in India, has formed this entire 7 different teams under the leadership of 7 different MPs cutting across party lines. So the first team, of course, probably no order, is being led by Shashi Tharoor, who is also the Congress Member of Parliament from Kerala. He will be leading the delegation most probably to the United States, wherein there are other Member of Parliament from the BJP, from the JDU, from the NCP, the Shiv Sena, cutting across party lines. These MPs who will be leading a delegation of other Member of Parliament colleagues, diplomats, as well as other officials from the Government of India, and going across to different parts of the world, from the far east to the far west. It will be covered in all the countries, from the United States to the United Nations, to Australia, to Thailand, to Philippines, to the Gulf, to UAE. All these countries will be covered by these 7 delegations that will be going to different parts of the world. What we are also hearing from our sources within the MEA is that they could probably be moving out by the end of this month. And of course, all the formalities, the paperwork are being done by the MEA, which is the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, is facilitating this entire program. So therefore, the last paperwork is being done, and the teams are more or less finalized. And by the end of this month, we can see a global outreach by India to all these nations, where it is imperative for the Government of India to propose, in fact, and to expose the nefarious lies and the terrorist activities of Pakistan, who had been carrying out such activities over many decades in India, and waging these proxy wars. This has also been done earlier, in 2008, when the horrific Mumbai attack took place on 26th of November. Even then, a similar delegation was sent to different parts of the globe So therefore, this is a practice which the government of India has followed to reach out to the global community. Also, this all-party member delegation is, Deepika, important to note here that it consists of political parties, be it the opposition, be it the ruling, cutting across all parties. Therefore, it is also a message to the people of the country as well as to the globe that at such a crucial point in time of the country and the political party stands united irrespective of their political ideologies or their difference of opinion in the political sphere. Deepika.
All right. Thank you so much, Dipendra, for joining us and bringing us more details. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the Jaipuriya National Convocation in New Delhi on Saturday. Speaking on the success of Operation Sindhur, the Vice President said that it was under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that the army attacked the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Toiba and other terrorist organizations. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar also praised the army personnel that stood strong in these times, resulting in no harm caused to any civilian.
It was a remarkable retaliation befitting our ethos of peace and tranquility to the barbarity that happened on April 22 Pahalgam, deadliest attack on our civilians since 2008 Mumbai attacks. The Prime Minister of the country, Shri Narendra Modi, sent a message from India's heartland, Bihar, to the entire global fraternity. Those were not empty words. The world has now realized what he said is a reality. In the mechanics of war and fight against terrorism, a new benchmark has been set. Indian armed forces targeted Jaish-e-Mohammed at Bahawalpur, deep inside Pakistan territory, beyond international border, headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, also Lashkar-Taiba's base, Muridke. No one is asking for proof now.
Now, J&K Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha on Saturday visited the line of control in Karna sector of Kupwara district to take stock of the prevailing situation and assess security and developmental initiatives in the region. During his visit, the Lieutenant Governor interacted with the residents affected by cross-border shelling from various areas. He assured them with the government's unwavering commitment to their safety, providing adequate relief measures and expediting developmental works in the border areas. The Governor also chaired a comprehensive review meeting with senior civil and security officials to discuss the overall security environment, ongoing public welfare projects and issues faced by the local population.
प्रशासन के अपने साथियों का मैं बहुत आभारी हूं, जिन्होंने बहुत कठिन परिस्थिति में भी सदैव मौके पर डटे रहे और आवाम को कोई कठिनाई न हो, इसका उन्होंने भरपूर प्रयास किया। प्रशासन ने आकलन कर लिया है और उस आकलन के आधार पर जो अविलंब सहायता दी जा सकती थी वो दे दी गई है। जो क्षति हुई है उसका एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान डिविजनल कमिश्नर कश्मीर और सीनियर ऑफिसर मिलकर बनाएंगे। उस आधार पर भारत सरकार से अनुरोध करके लोगों को पूरी तरह से रिहेबिलिटेट किया जाए।
Now, in a significant nationwide outreach effort, the 11-day-long Tiranga Yatra is currently underway across the country to honor the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces, particularly in light of the recently held and successful Operation Sindhur. Now, in support of the Operation Sindhur, a Tiranga Yatra was organized in northwestern Indian city of Udaipur to showcase solidarity with the armed forces and their patriotism. People from all walks of life in Ahmedabad participated in the Tiranga Yatra rally, carrying the national flag and paid their tribute to the bravery and sacrifice of Indian soldiers. In Uttarakhand's Haldwani, people participated in Tiranga Yatra to honor the brave soldiers and to celebrate the success of Operation Sindhur. Haryana's Kurukshetra also conducted Tiranga Yatra. Large number of young enthusiasts participated in the yatra, showcasing unity and pride with armed forces. India's Road and Transport Highways Minister Nitin Kadkari is in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The minister interacted with the Indian community there and spoke about the immense potential of biofuels, green hydrogen, clean energy and flex fuel mobility. Nitin Kadkari also shared India's remarkable strides on the global stage, from robust economic growth and world-class infrastructure to expanding international partnerships. Taking to social media site X, the minister said he is deeply moved by the community's strong cultural roots and their vital role in fostering innovation and strengthening ties in agri-business, energy and digital economy. Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. Russia-Ukraine agree on large-scale prisoner swap. India's R. Pragnananda clinches classic title in Romania.
Our actions harm the planet. But the good news is we can also mitigate some of the damage.
We store the waste material like metal dust, metal pins that accumulates so that we can use it later for painting or some other artwork.
We've invented our own alternative cement, which essentially is compatible with crop residues, because of which Agrocrete, the world's first verified carbon negative bioconcrete.
When my son died, I wanted to take my life too. I lost a child, but I have started an initiative and planted 500,000 trees.
As an alternative to clay bricks, we have come up with concrete hollow blocks that are environmentally friendly.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live, and now let's get you the latest on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, Ukraine rallied support from its Western allies on Friday after Kyiv and Moscow failed to agree to a ceasefire at their first direct talks in more than 3 years. Under pressure from US President Donald Trump to end the conflict, Ukrainian and Russian delegates met for the first time since March 2022 to discuss possible resolutions. Now, the brief talks in Istanbul resulted in a deal to exchange 1,000 prisoners each. While Russia showed willingness to continue dialogue, Ukraine called for stronger Western sanctions if Moscow rejects Trump's proposed 30-day ceasefire. As soon as the talks ended, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a phone call with Donald Trump and the leaders of France, Germany and Poland.
We have to meet. He and I will meet. I think we'll solve it, or maybe not, but at least we'll know.
Donald Trump also on Friday said that Vladimir Putin has to meet him, and this has been the stand so far. There you heard the bite as well, what Donald Trump had to say. Now, Ukrainians expressed relief and hope after Russia and Ukraine agreed to a prisoner exchange. While the prisoner swap marked a positive step, many Ukrainians are cautiously optimistic, hoping it could lead to more substantial negotiations. Moving on. The United States lost its last AAA credit rating from a major agency on Friday as Moody's announced a downgrade to AA1. It cited rising debt and interest payments that outpaced those of similar rated sovereigns. Now, this move marks the end of an era as Moody's was the last major agency to maintain a AAA rating for US's sovereign debt. Moody's warned it expects federal deficits to widen to almost 9% of economic output by the year 2035, up from 6.4% last year. And as a result, it expects the federal debt burden to increase to about 134% of GDP by 2035. Moody's decision to downgrade the United States from its top credit rating mirrors similar decisions from the two other major US rating agencies, which are S&P and Fitch. Since its return to the White House on the 20th of January, President Donald Trump has pledged to balance the U.S. budget, while his Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has repeatedly said the current administration aims to lower U.S. government funding costs. The administration's mix of revenue-generating tariffs and spending cuts through Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has highlighted a keen awareness of the risks posed by mounting government debt, which, if unchecked, could trigger a bond market rout and also hinder the administration's ability to pursue its agenda. The downgrade came as the tax bill failed to clear a key procedural hurdle on Friday, as hardline Republicans demanding deeper spending cuts blocked the measure in a rare political setback for the Republican president in Congress. The U.S. Supreme Court on Friday upheld a block on President Donald Trump's plan to deport Venezuelan migrants, saying his administration tried to remove them without proper legal process under a rarely used 1798 wartime laws. The justices, in a brief and unsigned opinion, granted a request by American Civil Liberties Union attorneys representing the migrants to maintain the halt of the removals for now. Now, due process generally requires the government to provide notice and an opportunity for a hearing before taking certain adverse actions. The Supreme Court, meanwhile, clarified that the administration was free to pursue deportations under other provisions of U.S. immigration law. The administration has accused the migrants of being members of Tiranga Yatra, a criminal gang originating in Venezuelan prisons that the State Department has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Donald Trump has invoked the Alien Enemies Act in a bid to swiftly deport them. Trump criticized the Supreme Court's action, writing on social media, while conservative Justices Samuel and Clarence Thomas publicly dissented from Friday's decision. Now, this was the second time that Donald Trump's actions concerning Venezuelan migrants had come before the Supreme Court in a legal dispute that has raised questions about his administration's willingness to comply with limits set by the nation's highest judicial body. The Arab League will convene in Baghdad later on Saturday to address the escalating war in Gaza and broader regional crisis through key leaders which are notably absent. Leaders have started arriving for the meeting. Iraqi Foreign Minister Fawad Hussein received Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the Baghdad airport as he arrived in the Iraqi capital to attend the 34th Arab League summit. Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, along with Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani, also received a warm welcome. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammad Shia al-Sudani greeted United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Syrian Foreign Minister Assad Hassan al-Shibani, Saudi Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Adil al-Jubair, and many others. Iraq, hosting its first Arab League summit since 2012, views the event as a platform to showcase regional leadership and post-war stability amid Syria's ongoing transition. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Thursday supervised drills by its Air Force and underscored the need for a step up in war preparations as per state media on Saturday. Now, Kim, who inspected anti-aircraft combat and airstrike drills by North Korea's 1st Air Division during the Thursday visit, called for all units in the entire military to bring about a breakthrough in war preparation. Now, still photographs released by KCNA showed Kim looking at aircraft and missiles with military officials and speaking with the pilots. North Korea also slammed the U.S. State Department for placing it on a list of countries that do not fully cooperate with U.S. counter-terrorism efforts. In sports, India's golden boy of athletics, Neeraj Chopra, scripted history on Friday evening at the Doha Diamond League by breaching the elusive 90-meter barrier in men's javelin throw for the first time in his career. The reigning world champion recorded a best throw of 90.23 meters, becoming only the 25th athlete in the history to cross the prestigious mark across the world. However, despite his personal milestone, Neeraj Chopra had to settle for second position as Germany's Julian Weber stole the show with a winning throw of 91.06 meters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Neeraj Chopra for achieving the historic milestone. In a social media post, he said, and I quote him, "A spectacular feat. Congratulations to Neeraj Chopra for reaching the 90-meter mark at Doha Diamond League 2025 and achieving his personal best throw. This is the outcome of his relentless dedication, discipline and passion. India is elated and proud," unquote. Union Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia also congratulated Neeraj Chopra on this historic feat. He said, and I quote, "Historic feat. Heartiest congratulations to our javelin star Neeraj Chopra for breaching the 90-meter barrier for the very first time with a throw of 90.23 meter, securing second place at Doha Diamond League 2025." Unquote. In chess, India's R. Pragnananda clinched the classic title in Romania after edging out Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Arisa in blitz deciders in a dramatic three-way tiebreaker. The 18-year-old Indian Grandmaster held his nerve in the final game against Maxime, sealing a memorable victory in the opening leg of the Grand Chess Tour. In the blitz tiebreaks, the first two clashes, which were Pragnananda versus Firoz Chua and Vachier versus Firoz Chua, ended in tightly contested draws, leaving the title hanging in balance. But it was in the decisive third game that Pragnananda stepped up, defeating Vachier-Lagrave to win the title. In cricket, the biggest cricket carnival, Indian Premier League, is set to resume on Saturday as the Ajinkya Rahane-led Kolkata Knight Riders are all set to lock horns with Rajat Patidar's Royal Challengers Bengaluru. The tournament, which has 13 matches remaining, will continue across 6 Indian cities with the final show scheduled for the 3rd of June. Playoff qualification beckons Bengaluru while elimination stares Kolkata Knight Riders in the face as the two sides meet in the 58th fixture today. A victory for Royal Challengers Bengaluru over the defending champions will guarantee a top 4 berth and clear the course for it to stake claim for a top 2 spot. For Kolkata Knight Riders, a defeat will send them out. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.